In the annals of the Wild West lore, few names evoke as much fascination and mystique as Wyatt Earp and Curly Bill Brocius. These legendary figures were part of a tumultuous era that has captured the imagination of generations, immortalized in books, movies, and folklore. While history has provided glimpses into their lives, there remain unanswered questions and enigmatic tales that shroud the Old West. In this riveting exploration, we embark on a journey through time to shed light on one of the most enduring mysteries of the Wild West. Did Wyatt Earp truly end the notorious Curly Bill Brocius? Drawing from historical accounts, eyewitness testimonies, and historian analysis, we peel back the layers of the past to uncover the truth behind this gripping saga. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos. Born in 1845, William Brocius, more commonly known as Curly Bill Brocius, gained notoriety as an American gunman, rustler, and outlaw cowboy operating in the Cochise County area of the Arizona Territory during the late 1870s and early 1880s. It is believed that Curly Bill may have been an alias or nickname, and there are indications linking him to another outlaw named William Curly Bill Brocius, who was convicted of attempted robbery and murder in El Paso, Texas in 1878. Brocius had a number of conflicts with the lawmen of the Earp family, and he was named as one of the individuals who participated in Morgan Earp's assassination. Following Morgan's death, Deputy U.S. Marshal Wyatt Earp, along with the group of deputies, including his brother Warren Earp, set out to pursue those they believed responsible. In that time, Brocius was referred to as Arizona's most famous outlaw, as noted in George Parsons' journal entry from October of 1881. Various accounts of Curly Bill Brocius depict him as a man with distinct features, particularly his dark curly hair. Standing tall and well-built, he possessed a freckled-faced complexion that was often noted in descriptions of him. While some believe that a photograph displayed at the Birdcage Theater Museum in Tombstone is of Brocius, its authenticity remains unverified. Additional photographs purported to be of Curly Bill have been presented by his descendants, yet these too lack authentication. Curly Bill was known as a heavy drinker with a warped sense of humor. Infamous tales include an incident where he compelled a preacher to dance during a Sunday morning sermon by shooting at his feet. On another occasion, during a community-wide dance, Curly Bill brandished his gun, forcing a group of Mexicans to strip naked and dance in front of the crowd. These incidents were reported in local newspapers at the time, further cementing Curly Bill's reputation as a complicated and controversial figure in the Old West. During a drunken episode on October 28, 1880, some of Curly Bill's companions engaged in reckless behavior, firing pistols into the air in a dim, vacant lot between Tough Nut and Allen Streets, close to the present-day location of the Birdcage Theater. Tombstone's town marshal, Fred White, intervened in an attempt to disarm Brocius. In the process, White reached for the barrel of Brocius's gun, accidentally activating the gun that fired and hit White in the body. Wyatt Earp had borrowed Fred Dodge's pistol, and he pistol-whipped Brocius. Subsequently, during Brocius's preliminary hearing, Wyatt testified to the events that transpired. He recalled hearing White demand, "I am an officer, give me your pistol." As White approached, Brocius withdrew his pistol from its holster, prompting White to seize it by the barrel. White approached Brocius from behind, seeking to check for any additional weapons, and White gave a quick jerk and the pistol went off, resulting in White being wounded and falling to the ground. Taking quick action, Wyatt buffaloed Brocius and arrested him. Brocius exclaimed, "What have I done? I've not done anything to be arrested for." Marshal White did not die immediately. He was taken to a doctor who tried to treat his wounds. White's condition seemed to be improving, and he was even able to give a statement that cleared Brocius of the charges. However, as time passed, White's condition took a turn for the worse, and he passed away later that same evening. The people of Tombstone held deep admiration and respect for Marshal White, and Wyatt Earp, in particular, was determined to see justice served. He advocated for Brocius to be brought to trial in Tucson, facing charges of murder. During Curly Bill's trial, the judge reviewed Fred White's earlier testimony, in which the marshal asserted his belief that the gun had discharged accidentally. Even Wyatt Earp, in his testimony, maintained that he too viewed the shooting as an unintended event. Given these testimonies, the judge ultimately acquitted Brocius of the murder charges, leading to his release. Wyatt told his biographer, John H. Flood Jr., many years later that he thought that Brocius was still armed at the time and did not notice that Brocius's pistol lay on the ground in the dark until Brocius was already down. Despite being responsible for the deaths of several other men during his lifetime, Brocius clearly took a liking to White and insisted that his death was an accident. Brocius was described by contemporary author Billy Breckenridge in his book Hell Dorado, Bringing the Law to the Mesquite, as being the most deadly pistol shot of the cowboys, able to hit running jackrabbits, shoot out candle flames without breaking the candles or lantern holders, and shoot quarters from between the fingers of volunteers. For some time, the Clanton Gang, a notorious group of cattle-rustling, stagecoach, robbing gunslingers, had established Tombstone as their primary base of operations. Under the leadership of Newman Old Man Clanton, the gang consisted of Clanton's sons, Billy, Ike, and Finn, as well as the McLaury brothers Tom and Frank, alongside a variety of other outlaw characters. For a time, Curly Bill Brocius was a member of the Clanton Gang, although he did not participate in the gunfight at the OK Corral in October 1881. A few months prior to the renowned gunfight, in July 1881, Curly Bill Brocius, along with a fellow Clanton Gang member, Johnny Ringo, sought vengeance and murdered Isaac and William Hazlitt in New Mexico. The killings were driven purely by revenge, as the Hazlitt brothers had previously killed two other members of the Clanton Gang during a failed robbery at a general store. In July, Curly Bill led a deadly ambush in the San Luis Pass. During this incident, Brocius and his gang attacked a group of Mexicans, resulting in the death of 6 individuals in the initial assault. Subsequently, the remaining 8 Mexicans were subjected to torture and killed by Brocius and his cohorts. Curly Bill assumed the position of leader of the Clanton Gang. When Old Man Clanton was killed during the Guadalupe Canyon Massacre. Although Curly Bill Brocius did not participate in the gunfight at the OK Corral, the event was attended by his gang of outlaws. Naturally, he was furious at the deaths of his gang members at the hands of the Earp brothers. Tensions were growing between the Clanton Gang and the Earp brothers, and the lawmen were constantly on guard, mindful of the threats they faced. On December 28, 1881, at around 11:30 p.m., Virgil Earp, returning to his room at a Tombstone boarding house after spending the night in a local saloon, was suddenly targeted in an ambush. 3 gunmen hiding in an unfinished building across the street opened fire on Virgil Earp. The shots struck him in the back and left arm, causing him to stagger into a nearby hotel. After the assassination, Virgil miraculously survived, but his arm was permanently disabled. In early January 1882, Curly Bill orchestrated the robbery of 2 stagecoaches departing from Tombstone, triggering Wyatt Earp to assemble a posse and initiate a manhunt for the members of the Clanton Gang. Then, on the evening of March 18, 1882, tragedy struck again when Morgan Earp was playing a late game of pool at Campbell and Hatch Billiard Parlor. The assassins, believed to be members of the Clanton Gang, opened fire through the window. A bullet missed Wyatt Earp but lodged in his brother Morgan's spine. Morgan Earp died soon after. The following day, Curly Bill was among 7 suspected assassins named by the coroner's jury. However, once again, friends of the suspects provided alibis, leading to their release. This exemplified the prevailing sentiment that a cowboy couldn't be convicted in Cochise County. Wyatt knows the only way to get justice for his brother's fatal shooting is for him to take the law into his own hands. He would become their avenger, serving as judge, jury, and executioner. Leading a small posse of loyal friends, Wyatt embarked on a vendetta against the perpetrators. On March 24th, the encounter between Wyatt and Curly Bill occurred unexpectedly at Cottonwood Springs in the southern end of the Whetstone Mountains west of Tombstone. Both sides face each other at the stream, and a furious exchange of gunfire ensued. While Brocius shot Earp with his shotgun from 50 feet away, hitting Wyatt's jacket, Earp returned fire with a 22-inch caliber 10 pistol. He killed Brocius with a load of buckshot to the stomach, nearly cutting him in half. Brocius fell into the water at the edge of the spring. The cowboys fired a number of shots at the Earp party, but the lawmen's fire was so intense that those cowboys who could left. Earp's long coat was punctured by bullets on both sides. Another bullet struck his boot heel, and his saddle horn was hit as well, burning the saddle hide. Holding his pistol, Earp accurately shot Johnny Barnes in the chest and into the hands of Milt Hicks. Vermillion tried to retrieve his rifle wedged in the scabbard under his fallen horse, exposing himself to the cowboys' gunfire. Doc Holliday helped him gain cover. Earp had trouble remounting his horse due to a cartridge belt that had slipped down his legs. He was finally able to get on his horse and retreat. Afterwards, Wyatt rejoined his friends, who had fled when the shooting started and the cowboys sought refuge in the cottonwood trees. Earp biographer John Flood wrote that the cowboys buried Brocius's body at Frank Patterson's nearby ranch near the Babo-Comari River. This is close to the original McLaury Ranch site about 5 miles west of Fairbank and is believed to have originally belonged to Frank Stillwell. Brocius's grave has never been identified. Bill's friends denied that their leader died at the hands of Wyatt Earp. Some claimed he sought refuge in Mexico, married a rich lady, and lived the rest of his days contentedly. Others insisted that he started anew in Colorado, while some asserted he returned to Texas. The question of whether Wyatt actually killed Curly Bill remains uncertain, as no definitive evidence has been established. The Tombstone Epitaph, a newspaper aligned with the Earp family, published a story supporting Wyatt's version, while multiple unnamed witnesses sided with the cowboys, asserting that Curly Bill had been miles away during the confrontation. The Tombstone Nugget offered $1,000 as a reward for the first time to anyone who could bring up Curly Bill's corpse, and the Tombstone Epitaph countered with a $2,000 reward to anyone who could bring Curly Bill alive. Surely Curly Bill himself could not refuse such a good offer. Despite that, he seems to have disappeared without a trace. According to the historical data available, I think Wyatt killed him. Surely the cowboys themselves would never admit it. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.